How's it going, everybody? What's going on? Am I live? I want to make sure. It's been a while since I've streamed, so I want to make sure everything's going all right. Okay, looks like I'm live. How's everybody doing? Thanks for tuning in. Okay. I'll give everybody just a few seconds here before we get into it. So, I'm going to do a small little portrait here. Self-portrait, I guess. What's going on, Enrique, Matthias, Sergio? What's going on, man? Up late again, huh? Yeah, long time no see. So we'll just give everybody a few seconds here, maybe a minute, half a minute or so. Philip, what's going on? Good to see everybody else here as well. Very soon here, we're going to get back into streaming a little bit more once I get a little more time, probably in the next 2-3 weeks, be able to stream a lot more. So, Bruce, what's happening? Amanda, what's going on? All right, well, I think we're good for now. So this is my reference. A very sad looking me. Jeremy, what's happening? You know, I was just going for lighting and stuff. I got some new lights and stuff that I've been using. So that's what, trying to get a nice lighting with this reference and stuff. So I'm going to start drawing this here. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit. Try to figure out where I want my head to go on this thing. Hopefully that won't be too low for my head. Let's see, if I have the bottom of my head here, it should be fine, probably. Just don't want it to sit too low on this page. Let's just block it in real quick. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Glad to see everybody back. I know it's been a while. So I'll try to keep this the bottom of my head. So I really got to pay attention to the width compared to the height here. Let's see if my whole head will fit there. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So, all right. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome, Sergio. Good to hear. Juliet says, "Do you like oil color?" I used to paint with oils, but not really anymore. Just too much materials, too messy, too difficult for plein air, stuff that I enjoy. So I kind of just gave those up. And I just do watercolor now. So I don't want to get too detailed in the beginning here, but I'm just trying to figure out overall structure of things. So it looks like my hair would be up here. What's going on, Tim? Thanks for tuning in. And Joyce. Glad to see everybody back. Yeah, and we're on. This is the first time I've really done a stream on the weekend. You know, don't really do them on the weekend normally, but you know, recently it's the only time I've really had time to do them. So I figured, you know what, I'll just do one for an hour or two. Try to make something happen here. Hopefully I can get this to look kind of like me. The sketch part of it, at least. So just for everybody tuning in real quick, I just want to mention, be sure to check out my website, schaeferfineart.com. We've got some drawings and painting and stuff up there, blog posts, a bunch of other stuff. And I also have a page where you can support me. And I believe I just added a way you can actually donate directly to me through my website. So that's something I just set up. on schaeferfineart.com. So if you go to the support page at the top, you'll see the link for support. So it's probably the best way to donate to me, without like other fees and stuff. So you can actually, there's a button for donating directly to me, which is pretty cool. Thought that was really neat. But only if you feel like it, you know, no worries. If not, it's all good. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, no matter what. Okay, so I want to treat my eyes here. I think my hair is way up too high a bit. I have to bring that down a bit. Slightly, possibly, because this is going to be a bit flatter here. I don't know. And this needs to come up. All right, we're already struggling. Love it. Love the struggle. So I want to treat my eyes here like one big shape. Try to figure out where these are going to fit on my face. Kind of like a pair of sunglasses, you know? So I'll try to treat this as nice shape there, and then it looks like right at this point, possibly that's where it kind of cuts in. Hopefully that looks good. It's kind of hard to tell at this moment because we still have to kind of fix up this side of the face here. It's just sticking out a little too far. So cut in there. Come down for the cheek. I'll get to you guys' chats and questions and stuff. I just want to get a little bit of this in here, and you guys know I'll go through them when I get a chance. Just don't want to waste too much time here on the beginning phase of this. It'll end up being a very long stream. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Maybe a little off. But, you know, we're just doing a little watercolor sketch. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? I hear everybody else out there. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. What are you talking about? It can't be perfect. And I'm trying to focus on the large like shadow shapes as well. You know, my main focal focus here is the lighting, right? It's kind of light versus shadow shapes. This side of my head, it kind of follows my hair and then down my cheek. So this whole section is kind of going to be one main color, you know, except for the ear. So it looks like my eyes may have gone up a little too high. It's very difficult to tell at this stage, but trying to find the ear here. And my nose. Let's see. You know, this whole thing I'm really guesstimating right now. I haven't really measured anything, only like visually in my mind when I'm looking at this I'm measuring, but I haven't really like, you know, started comparative measuring at all. So I'm just guesstimating everything right now, and I'm trying to really simplify things. So this nose, we'll just draw a straight line down, and I'm kind of using this cheek that I drew earlier as a guide, kind of figure out where the bottom of my nose might be. But I'm trying to keep everything simple, mostly straight lines, you know, just going intuitively here, you know, sometimes straight lines, sometimes curves, whatever feels right. I kind of go by feeling with almost everything that I do. And for the most part, it guides me pretty well. You know, it's always, you know, some things aren't perfect usually, but what really is ever perfect, you know? Okay, let's just focus on the mouth here, middle of the mouth, the line of the lips. Right, and underneath the bottom lip, a little shadow there. So that looks a little weird, but it's really just my mustache and above my top lip, so I'm gonna get rid of that for now. Focus on the line of the lips, maybe the top lip shape. Let's see if I squint. Shadow shape here for the nose. Not bad, I guess. Shadow shape here. Don't want to get too detailed at this point. Just keep everything pretty loose. The eyes, it's a little challenging here to figure out how much detail to put into this. I don't really want it to be too detailed. Usually I try to stray away from the detail. So hopefully I can do that today. But you know, just give enough, just enough in there to get the idea of what it is. Anything look off? I think this angle of the beard and stuff's a little off. It's hard because when I draw it, it doesn't look like a beard, so I'm gonna have to like be able to paint it to make it look like that. Okay, let's check some questions here. Ari asks, what do you think about watercolor? I'm having a lot of fun with acrylics, and watercolor is a medium I also enjoy. I'm just wondering what you think about watercolors. I love watercolors. Been using them for like almost 3 years now. That's when I started, like really started focusing on them. I used them about 10 or 11 years ago. That was really when I first started painting, was with watercolor. But I kind of went into acrylics after that. And then after acrylics, I got into oil. And then I really wanted to start doing more plein air travel painting, like when I went on a trip. And I realized like oil paint was just going to be a pain to do that with, so I started using watercolor as an easy way to travel and sketch plein air. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and probably where I'm going to stay for a while. I've just been doing pen and ink sketches and watercolor. So Philip asks, in general, why are faces such a challenge? I never get them quite right. Well, faces are so challenging because you got all these little components, you know. Even just looking at my eyes now, I can tell I don't have it really lined up on the correct line here. This eyelid's a little too high. There's just so many different little shapes, and I think humans are so... we can so quickly see when something's wrong in a face. You know, we can easily look at somebody. I think most of us can, possibly. You can easily look at somebody, and of course it's personal opinion, personal preference, but most people can instantly tell if like they're attracted to somebody if they look attractive, right? I mean, it's like an instantaneous thing. It's just like, oh, that person looks attractive. Oh, that person, not really attractive to me. You know, we're so, you know, maybe it's just like evolutionarily into us, you know, that we're just so easy to recognize things, you know. And I think faces are like a huge thing, human faces. You know, we do that with animals too. Like if you've ever been walking through the woods or something, and you think you see a snake or something, like we can easily detect certain things in the environment. And I think that's where it comes from, like with faces and stuff. We can easily tell when something is off on the face. You know, if the eyes are too close together or something's not far apart enough, or, you know, I think this eye is probably, they're too close together. So hopefully I can paint that a little more correctly. So it looks like the start of the eye here, like the actual roundness of the eye. In the corner of my eyes here. So I think that's why faces are so challenging, because we can so easily detect any little shift, any tiny little thing that's wrong. And people will, you know, be very quick to point it out as well. When you do something in a public forum, you know, people are like, that doesn't look like you. You didn't capture the likeness of that person. Or it's like, okay, whatever. Doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to paint a human, you know. But yeah, I think that's why. I think it's just there's so many little tiny things. You know, this kind of triangle section of the face, the eyes to the nose to the mouth, these proportions. It's really like the crucial part of it, you know. This other stuff, yeah, it kind of matters, you know, the ear and the chin and this stuff. Of course that matters too, but this is the main thing to really get the likeness. Am I using the Loomis method? Not particularly for this one. I'm kind of just going at it. Just, you know, I'm just intuitively, you know, I didn't start off with a circle or anything like that. Sometimes I do, but no, I didn't really use the Loomis method for this one. I don't really use any particular method. You know, I know a few different methods for a lot of things, how to draw and start drawings, but nowadays I kind of just, I go with what I feel the subject like needs, you know, like it's hard to explain, like it's hard to really teach that kind of a thing. It's really something you have to discover on your own, like just draw a bunch of portraits and then you kind of get the idea of like where you need to start or how you need to start something. And I don't always get it right. Sometimes I have to restart a drawing or something or restart a sketch. I think this kind of looks like me. I would ask what you guys think, but to be honest, I don't really care. Because I'm just going to move on anyway. If I think it looks close enough, I'm just like, all right, that's good. Close enough. Just need to lighten up some of this probably. Probably don't actually, but we're going to jump into the painting part, and that's where the real drawing comes into play, right? Because I mean, this part is really just the foundation, but when I start painting and stuff, this is all going to get covered up. And then my true drawing skills are going to have to come out. And that's really the challenge of painting, is that you got to draw the entire time. And that's why drawing is so important. And that's why I'm putting out a drawing course, actually, it's going to be launching in the next week or so. February 15th, the intuitive drawing course. So definitely check out my website if you haven't heard about that one. Or check out my latest uploads. Second glance, larger forehead, rounder chin, slightly rounder hairline. Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're right, larger forehead. Yeah. See, I made that mistake earlier. I brought the hairline down, but probably didn't need to. And that's really the only thing I can fix right now. I don't really want to move probably the eyes need to come down, but at this point, nope, not happening. Because, you know, if I was doing this on my own and I was just taking as much time as I wanted, then I probably would sit here and perfect the facial features and all the proportions. But since it's on a live stream and I'm not going to be, you know, I don't want to spend like 3 hours on this. Just going to tweak it the best that I can, you know. And sometimes that's just how it goes, man. Sometimes you just gotta roll with the kind of little tiny mistakes that, you know, of course it's gonna make a difference. It's gonna make me look a bit different, but I kind of got to roll with it because this isn't digital where I can just like liquefy and move it down real easily. So we'll just roll with it how it is. And really the hairline shouldn't even be a line. It's really like it's going to be a very soft transition. So anyway. No worries, Pedro. Thanks for tuning in. What's that clay looking eraser thing? What's it called? It's called a kneaded eraser. Kneaded, kneaded eraser. There's a link to it in the chat. I think drawing self-portrait from a mirror is so much hard. What's the advice for solving that? Yeah, that's just more practice, I guess. I've never really done that before. I think I did that once, possibly, just as an exercise, but yeah, that's, I don't really know. I think that's something you have to just do a lot. Try drawing from a photograph first and see how well you do with the photograph. If you feel very confident with a photograph, then I would move on to the mirror. But if you don't feel confident with a photograph, then I think a mirror is going to be too challenging, possibly. Are you using granulating watercolors, or are you siding more towards the smooth finish ones? You know, I don't even really check that stuff normally. I think a few of my pigments are granulating, and then some are, what do you call them? I don't know what you call them, smooth or whatever. I think this one's granulating. The Viridian. I don't really know, to be honest. I really don't know. I don't pay attention. Change the angle. I don't know what that means, but okay. What's going on? Greetings from Indonesia. Thanks for tuning in. Apa kabar? Use less light. I really enjoy drawing landscapes. There's just something about creating places that to me is more inspiring, authentic than making, say, people and portraits. It's a little odd if I do say so myself. No, I agree. I mean, most of the art that I do, I'll show you guys really quick here again. I mean, I mostly do landscapes for the most part. There's some animals, some landscapes, but mainly landscapes, you know, some figures and stuff here and there. But yeah, I really love nature and landscapes as well. So I just like doing portraits. I think it's a nice challenge, and other people like seeing it. So, you know, try to do it every once in a while just to... All right, let's get going on the painting here because we are 23 minutes in. It's a good time to... That's a pretty good sketch. My lips will look a little funny, but, you know, I'm going to fix all this when we paint it, hopefully. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, so if anybody tuning in now, here's the reference photo that I'm using of me. I got a new light for my YouTube videos, so I look a lot better. My YouTube videos, they look a lot better. I'm using a new light now, so hopefully these live streams, everything looks so much better and not as dark. So this year, I'm leveling up this year, trying to level up everything, so. Okay, just gonna start out with some washes probably. Let's move my brushes over here. Try to show you guys my palette as much as I can, because everybody's always interested in seeing that. So we'll see how that works out. I'm gonna start out with, what's going on, Red Milk? Chill out there, buddy. Just calm down, slow down with the typing. Hello. We can't give you all the attention you need. You gotta, I don't know. Gotta be okay without having attention. Okay. So I'm gonna do like a warm grayish background. I really like that. I'm gonna start out with the background. So this is my first time painting with this big light that I have, so it's gonna be interesting. See how much glare we get. Hopefully we don't get much glare. Looks like you guys aren't getting any glare, which is great. But from my angle, I'm actually getting a little bit of glare, but I can live with that. I'm more concerned about on camera. Kind of. I mean, I'm concerned about what I'm seeing too, but I'm gonna wet some of the colors that I'm gonna be using, I think. Probably red, maybe, yeah, purple for sure. Dioxazine, or not dioxazine purple, that is ultramarine violet deep. Yellow ochre will be good for sure. So I'm going to use a lot of convenience colors here, like a lot of colors that where I don't have to do a lot of mixing. You know, this transparent red oxide I'm going to be using a lot, purple, yellow ochre. You know, mixing these kind of colors together will give me some nice grays very quickly. Ivory black, it's really nice convenience color. And try to keep this warm. Doesn't really matter. Okay, let's get going here. Let's warm that up a little bit. So I'm gonna have to paint pretty quickly here because I'm really gonna try to do like not exactly wet into wet, but I want some soft edges, right? So what I'm probably gonna have to do is spray this a bit, try to wet everything just a little bit. So I've done a few small portrait studies off camera the last few weeks. Maybe one day I will show them, but I'm kind of using that same method that I've it took me a few portraits to really figure out a nice method. So hopefully this will look good. So now I'm just going into straight pigment, trying to just get some nice pigment in there. And for the background, some warmth. Maybe a little too warm. It's less saturated in person. What you guys are seeing is pretty saturated. But for me, it's not that saturated. It's just this camera that I have. It just makes it look a little more saturated. But just bear with me here. So this is what I mean by soft edges. So you kind of want the shirt to bleed into that background. And I'm just going to let it dry just a little bit. You know, as I'm painting, this is drying a bit, right? So when I do my face, which I'm going to do here in just a second, it's going to bleed only a little bit, not too much. And that's what I'm really looking for. Yes, I'm using arches. Yeah, I do kind of look like PewDiePie. I know, I realize that. Okay, so now for the shadow. We have a pretty dark shadow. I haven't really painted many very dark shadows like on humans. So this is going to be interesting. I think I'm going to add some purple into that a lot. This ultramarine violet deep. And still keep it on the warmer side, of course, but this ultramarine violet deep is such a beautiful color when you mix it with like the transparent red oxide, just with the way that it mixes and stuff and goes down. You get this nice purpley color. Purpley brown. It's really cool. Not actually cool, but cool as in awesome. So you see I'm getting a soft edge there. That's kind of what I'm going for. And I'm gonna have to be quick here. So forgive me if I miss any questions or comments from you guys. Just trying to focus on, okay, we don't need the spray bottle yet. Let's keep going. Let's be confident. We can do this. You guys think I can paint this in one layer, one go? That would be crazy. I don't think I can do that. But so normally with watercolor, you want to start out with like light washes and then move up to the very dark darks. But as you can see here, sometimes I don't really do that because I'm crazy. I don't know. I just don't. I'll get a little bit warmer on top here. Okay, so now I'm going to spray just my face a little bit. And what that does, it's keeping all these edges wet so that now I can go in with a lighter wash for the face in just a second here. So I can kind of blend that out. Everything's still kind of wet. I can blend this into the lighter area of the hair. I don't really know what color my hair is. It's kind of this weird like greenish blonde or something. It's kind of hard to... I'll just make it a little bit more yellow. Yellow ochre, I guess. I don't know. Maybe some warmth in there too. Yeah, this should be a lot lighter. Like I said earlier, keep the hairline pretty soft. Another quick spray. Trying to keep this alive. Get some red skin tone. So for the ear, I'm gonna have to just do like a light wash for now, because I'll do the shadows of the ear in a different layer, and I'll do them like, try to do them very simply with like one stroke. So this is all probably going to dry a little bit lighter, hopefully. So now I'm trying to figure out a skin tone here for me. I'm pretty pale, but right around this edge here, I want to get it a little bit warmer and darker and such. I feel like the eyes will probably just paint right over the whole of the eyes, like everything. So I'm trying to pay attention to the highlights. Looks like on my forehead and maybe my nose, it's really where the lightest parts of my face are that I really need to pay attention to. Now we're gonna make it work. Definitely gonna make it work. It's what I'm known for doing, right? You guys know. Try to soften this around the highlight. But I think that's a pretty good start. I think that's a pretty good start. Just try to keep everything soft. Should have lightened up that pencil a bit more, but it's okay. No worries. How much are your paintings to be bought online? Well, if you go check out my website, schaeferfineart.com, I got some drawings on there and watercolor paintings. They're all around $65 each, 65 US dollars. So yeah, go check it out. Go check it out. How much would I have to donate for you to ruin it? I don't know. All right, let's try this because I think I got a little bleeding on the ear there. My ear is bleeding, but we can try to easily fix that. Not too worried about that. We might have to do a second layer of darks anyway. You know, this is kind of just like the base layer, you know what I mean? So we'll go back over with just very bold shadows. We'll probably have to darken everything again here, or put another bit of shadowing. But I'm gonna dry this real quick for you guys. But I think we're doing okay. I think it's coming out all right. Yeah, I mean, my prices are, I mean, it's pretty affordable, you know what I mean? I spend like 1 to 2 hours on each one, sell it for 65 bucks. I mean, it's pretty affordable for most people out there. You know, you just save up for a month or two or however long you need. You know, there's a lot of art out there that's just like so expensive, you know. So I try to make it affordable and for everybody if I can, at least at this stage in my career. This is the same fan. Definitely the same fan. I forgot what we named her. What did we name the fan? You're definitely late. You're definitely late to the party. Okay, almost dry here. Almost dry, folks. Just stick with me here. If anybody has any questions or whatever, just let me know. Sorry if I missed anything. What questions do you have about oil colors? I mean, I could probably answer it. You know, I know a lot about oil painting, so if you want to post any questions. Okay, my new lighting is good. Glad to hear. Yeah, I mean, I definitely look different. You know, if you guys remember my other live streams, you know, I didn't have this nice lighting and such clarity on the video, so I think it looks a lot better. Okay, yeah, see, everything really lightened up there, which, you know, was expected. I knew. Windy, that's a good one. I'm using Arch's cold press 140 pound paper. Would you consider doing a hand study based on your own hand? Yeah, I could do that. That'd be cool. Yep, good old Windy here. That's a good name. Do you stretch your paper? If so, if yes, how? No, I don't. So there you go. That kind of, that answered that pretty quickly. Yeah, a lot of people quit at this phase of the painting because they're like, oh man, this doesn't look like anything, you know. I should have darkened the eyes a bit, actually, in the nose maybe, while everything was still wet, but that's okay. Is 140 a typical weight for watercolors? Yeah, I mean, this is like the, you know, most watercolor papers, like the midline ones are like 140 pound. You can get really heavy and get 300 pound, but that's way more expensive. I have some of that. I just haven't used it yet. I'm afraid to. But yeah. So for this next phase, I like to try to do some of the shadows. And I'm going to try to be very bold with this. I've learned in the last few weeks that if you're just very bold with your strokes and you leave it, and you know, it looks confident, it's going to look better. So that's what I'm hoping I can achieve here in this next stage. I think I'm going to leave the background the way it is. I might have to glaze it at the very end, like around here. But I know I'm going to be darker over here against the background and it'll be lighter. That's what we want. But we do want my skin to be lighter than the background over here. So that could be a problem, or it could give like a nice, yeah, I may have to glaze this background later on, but that'll be the final stage. We'll see. I may get away without doing that. So for the shadowing here, I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna start on a very unimportant part, like my shirt. So it just gets me warmed up a little bit. Kind of the way I started the shadows earlier. You know, I started with the face down here and I moved up. So I'm just using like a darker, like ultramarine blue with transparent red oxide. You guys know that mixture. I've said that 100 million times. But maybe a little ultramarine violet deep in there too. Just give it a little purple effect. Yeah, maybe something like that. I don't know. Hopefully it's not too dark. Let's see. All right, so let's try to be bold about this, right? Let's just see what happens. Right? Isn't that a beautiful stroke? Beautiful stroke. But we can. There we go. Let's lighten this up a bit here, and we'll put like a little wrinkle stroke there. Looks like a wrinkle. I may have to glaze the whole shirt too, because it's coming out pretty dark in comparison, which didn't really think would happen, but it's okay. Didn't really want to do that, but oh well. Try to soften some of this, I guess. Yeah. Not bad. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Sergio. 300-pound is a kind of a luxury. Okay, let's go with the face now. I'm gonna keep that same mixture, like transparent red oxide mixed with this purple. This ultramarine violet deep. It's kind of a beautiful mixture. And I think it would probably go well with, like, hopefully, with my skin for the shadows and stuff. So let's see if we can, like I said, we're trying to be direct here. See, I should have melded these two together, melted them, like wet into wet, but looks like we're gonna be okay. Looks like it's still gonna look okay here, pretty decent still. We're not gonna have like a harsh line or anything. So that's good. For me personally, I try to stay away from detail and stuff, so I'm trying to be loose here about this, right? And the reason I try to stay loose because I get caught up in everything trying to be too perfect. So since I know that about myself, I try to counteract it and just stay loose with things, you know? Okay, let's spray this real quick. I need to keep that wet just slightly. I'm hoping this doesn't take forever. Hoping I can get through this one pretty quickly here. Yeah, less is definitely more. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm really trying to get across nowadays. You know, less is definitely more. That's what I've learned just recently. I mean, I've learned it in the past. I've always known it. It's just one of those things that, in theory, sounds good, but it's so difficult to implement, right? It's just so challenging to be like, yeah, less is more. Okay, of course. Everyone knows it, but can you actually do it? And yeah, sometimes I can do it, but and I try to do it. And one of the ways I try to do it is just put a stroke down and leave it. You know, sometimes I have to soften the edges or modify it a bit, and that's okay. You know, you do need to have transitions, and those things are important. You know, softening things and having certain kinds of transitions. Like what I'm doing here, trying to keep that soft around the hair. You know, all the hair needs to be pretty soft for the most part. And maybe I went a little too dark or something, but it's okay. I'll just keep rolling. Keep painting. So now I'm just using more water, less pigment. I'm trying to blend some of this out. Start putting in some of the midtones and stuff. I'm just trying to get another range of values and stuff here. Sorry, I'm trying to focus. Sometimes it's hard to talk while I'm painting, especially a portrait like this, which I don't really do too often. So just really trying to focus. Okay. Don't want to mess with it too much. I think it's pretty good. You know, this line's a little too sharp, but it's okay. Do you start with the lightness or shadow parts? Well, for this one, I kind of did light and shadow at the same time, so it's kind of hard to say like one over the other. You know, there's many ways. You know, it's funny, like everybody always thinks of watercolor and think you have to do it a certain way, like, oh, light to dark and stuff. Like, yeah, those things are very important. Like, it is generally accepted to go light to dark, just with the way you layer, you have to. But it's not always the case, you know. I think you have to do what feels right for you as an artist, and that's kind of what I do. And yeah, if you go back and watch the beginning of this, I actually started out with the shadows. I didn't start out with the light, because for me it's easier to gauge. It's easier for me to go as dark as I'm going to get, and then now I can go back to the lights Because sometimes if I start out with the lights and I do the darks very, very last, it's sometimes the whole painting, I have to darken the whole thing, and it's really a pain. The painting becomes a pain, and I don't want it to be a pain, you know? I want it to be fun. Try to be bold here with these strokes on the ear. Really should be soft, shouldn't even worry about these kind of things on the ear, because they kind of take away from the rest of it. So there we go. Just needed a little softening there, see? Sometimes that's all it takes. All right, let's get to these features. This is really the important part here. So this is what's really this is what everyone's waiting for, right? The part where I mess up this whole thing. What's going on, Nathan? Thanks for tuning in. When you are focusing, you are naturally kind of posing like your reference photo, and it's trippy. Yeah, I have the same when I'm looking over here. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I didn't realize that would happen, but okay, how do we do these eyes? That's very challenging, but I think I'm just going to go for it. Let's be bold about it, right? I'm trying to keep a little space in there for the eyelid, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep that, to be honest. And I might have to glaze over it later on. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty challenging. It might be too much detail. And I kind of have it in the wrong spot. All right, let's just go over it. Let's keep this one very mysterious, right? Go over everything here. I think this needs to be extended down slightly. Same thing over here. There we go. Now I look more like a zombie. That's what I'm kind of going for. Not really, but not really going for that, but okay. Keep it loose, Brandon. Less is more, less is more. Okay, let's move on. I'm not completely done with the eyes. I'm kind of getting in a base to work from. And I'm gonna go down to my nose and I kind of want to get a base set in for everything. That way I can kind of determine, how detailed do I want to get with this thing. What does the painting need to look, legit. Trying to soften some of this. Man, that shadow really lightened up, huh? Interesting. Yeah, my skin tone's a little off. Probably needs a little more pink in it, a little more red, but it's okay. We'll keep rolling from here. Not a huge deal to me at this point. Yeah, the facial hair, this is a little challenging. I'm not really sure because, you know, I kind of made it a little too bushy here looking, but I can just soften that. We'll pull that back a bit or just melt it a bit, you know. Because there's a lot of highlights there and stuff. I really have to just simplify it. I'll show you guys the reference real quick. And you can see on my right side of my face, left side for us, but right side for me in the photo, I have like this highlight on my mustache area. So I'm kind of like just ignoring that kind of a bit, you know. Let's see. I'm gonna get my lips in here, and they're not really red, you know. They're more red than everything else, so this will help me kind of determine how red the rest of my face needs to get, possibly. Let's see. Yeah, so my lips pretty good, pretty. Yeah, I look pretty crazy without my eyes and stuff. I need to go a little bit darker inside there to get a little more detail. I think it's going to need just a little bit more, but at this stage in the painting, it's not bad. It's actually not bad. I think we're doing okay. Thing's bleeding a little bit more than I want. Probably need to dry this thing back, and then go from there. So let's do that. Let's dry this real quick. Thanks, Mr. Quote. Thanks for tuning in. Glad you enjoyed this. I'm just gonna dry this real quick for you guys. Give me like 1 minute here. Just be patient with me. Got a quick fan here. So if I keep trying to paint and it's wet and wet, it's gonna keep bleeding and stuff, so. I'm gonna try to make it look like my facial hair. We'll see. As best I can. To do as best I can. I haven't really painted any self-portraits at all. I did a monochrome one last year, almost a year ago now. That one was pretty challenging. I've gotten a lot better, I think. You can see it's kind of coming. What I'm gonna have to do is glaze the background to really push the facial hair back in to my face. Because it looks like it's coming off my face right now, but I don't want that. Right? So, we got a little challenge right now. We have a little challenge, but you know, we got this. I can even darken my shirt here. So, you know, there's things we can do to really pull that back. And actually the beard over here, this mustache, is actually darker than the background and the shirt. So really I can come in with a darker shadow and that'll really define it, hopefully. And we'll lose that other part. Hopefully, we'll see. But it's a little weird right now, but take our time, patience. One thing that's really bothering me is this dark up here. This is a little too dark. So I'm just gonna like blend that out slightly. There we go. Works a little bit better. Can do that with a lot of this. I can just kind of lighten that up. I'm just using like water, clean water. Just kind of taking up some of the pigment. So I have my main statement, you know, I have this dark shadow against the light. I mean, it looks pretty good, pretty decent. I'm gonna have to glaze this background, no doubt. And that'll really bring out my face. But I'm gonna do that last. We're gonna focus, we're gonna get into this. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use a smaller brush actually. Don't normally, you know, I don't use this a lot, but something like this, I think it's necessary. Because I'm gonna get into the eyes here and I'm gonna suggest details. I'm not going to get so detailed with it. I'm literally probably just going to paint like dots kind of connected together. And what that's going to do is just, it's going to give the illusion of something, hopefully. So if I squint, what I really want to focus on here is the part of my eye, like my iris and the pupil. And I think it's right about here. So let's see if I can do this. How did you learn doing portraits? I kind of just practiced. Thanks, I appreciate everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Doing my best here. Let's see. Let's just really zoom in. I'll show you guys. Hopefully we can make this. Like I said, I like some detail, only where necessary, but not too much, you know? Man, I'm getting a big glare. Okay, that's better. So I know this is gonna look weird to you guys up close, but what I'm hoping it's gonna do is, like I said, I haven't painted many portraits like this. So you guys see, I'm trying to like bring out my eye and the eyelid there. So let's see if this looks like anything. So see there, I don't know if that's really that good or not, but tried something. You know, it's just experimentation, just trying stuff, seeing what works, what doesn't. That's all I can really do. Just try to focus on what might work. Let's put the other eye in and see where we're at. Try to get the positioning of this one as best I can. I probably made this one a little too low, actually. I told you guys earlier, this is the part where my drawing skills come into play, because I'm not really going on. I have a little bit of pencil under sketch there, but yeah, see, I just messed that up. So the bottom of this, that should be the top of this one. So this actually comes down a lot. Unfortunately, but at this point. I just gotta kind of roll with what I got. You know what I'm saying? So some sort of idea of eyes there. You know, I don't want it to be, it's a little crazy looking, but there we go. Not too bad, I guess. I don't know, just trying something different, you know? Seeing what happens. Let's try to be a little more bold here with this nose, right? So let's see what we can, the shadow on the nose. It's a little dark. Might be too dark. So what I'm doing now, I'm just adding water. I'm trying to like blend it out and give like a, use all that dark pigment that I used to kind of create like some midtones and stuff, other transitions. Like basically make it all soft. And now I can, this is where I can like try to fix up my beard. Here. Alright, the line of my beard. Kind of looks like me. I feel like my upper lip's like up too high. But at this point, like I said, I can't really do much. I can maybe bring, I wonder if I can bring my bottom lip down. I don't know if that would help. Probably not, but I wonder if I can bring my top lip down slightly. Not really. Tried. Do you have paintings of animals on your website? I don't know if I still do. They kind of, I did a few animal paintings last year. I really want to do some more. But they kind of, I think they all sold pretty quickly. I did like a tiger, I did a fox. Both of those have sold. So I don't know if I currently have any animals, but definitely stay tuned for the future. I do want to paint more animals this year. So I hope you'll stick around in the next few months or weeks or months. And if you let me know any kind of animal you want me to paint, I'll definitely give it a shot. All right, well, not perfect, but this looks a little weird. My eyes look so weird, but kind of my lip looks weird here. It's kind of... Yeah, this is challenging, man. This might be the most challenging portrait I've done so far. Like, you know, I didn't want to get into all these details, but I'm just trying to bring out the most basic forms that I need to get this thing to look kind of like me. Don't really want to go darker in here, but it seems like I need to. too much water there. Try to get that up. Do want to soften this though. Should have softened that line. Should have softened this. It's a little too harsh to be like beard and hair. All right, give me 1 second here. I just got to look at it from far away. I think I just need a little more color to my face. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dry this again really quickly. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I can never imagine how an artwork will turn out, but dang, it never stops surprising me. Yeah, I agree. Same here, actually. I feel the same way creating this stuff. So what I'm gonna do, I think the reason I'm drying it right now, I wanna glaze very, very lightly some pink, like red tones over my cheeks, my nose, and maybe like around the edges of my face and hair and stuff. So, and my ear, bring out more warmth, more pink. Because right now I look a little dead because I'm so pale. And, I don't know. I think I drew this pencil line a little too dark. That's kind of a bummer. But no big deal. Oh wow, we're only an hour and 12 minutes in. This is pretty good for an hour and 12 minutes. Last year, this would have taken me like 2 hours, no doubt. Yeah, I almost got the eyes correct. I can tell the line's off a little bit, but you know, if you're not looking at side by side with the photo, nobody's really gonna notice. You know, I really need to soften this like beard. It's a little too harsh. I'm gonna try to do that here in a second, but I'm gonna glaze my face first with some color. And this is more of like really subtle values, but kind of like the midtones. Yeah, it's all dry now. So I'm gonna get some cadmium red. It's pretty strong, so I gotta be really careful here. But we'll kind of mix it with a little transparent red oxide. Like I said, this is very light. Try to show you guys my palette again. So this is like a very light, we'll see if this works. See if, it's gonna make it a bit darker. Yeah, it's probably too much, Let's see. See how that warms it up a little bit? Let's see if we can keep that level of warmth. I know it seems like I'm getting too detailed here, but I feel like this is a necessary change. And if I paint really small like this and like see how I can really manipulate stuff very subtly. You know, I was trying to be loose with it, but you know, sometimes it just needs a little strengthening. Have I ever tried to paint a Civil War painting? No, I haven't. I know somebody who does, though. I know somebody who, that's like all they paint is like, I think Civil War era kind of stuff. He's a pretty good artist. He does like gouache and watercolor too. But he does like battle scenes and he gets people to reenact it and have like, he takes photos and stuff. It's really cool. I think he actually lives on the East Coast. Oh yeah, let's tell everybody, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, support the channel and my video. Greatly appreciate it if you like what you're seeing. And there's also ways to support me on my website, schaeferfineart.com. Go check that out, just if you're interested. I also have paintings for sale on there, like the painting you're seeing here. I'll probably put this one up for sale. I don't know if anybody wants this crazy face of mine, the way I'm looking, but you know, it will be up for sale if you so desire. Since you did see me see how I painted this thing, it'd be pretty cool. Sometimes people like buying paintings where, you know they watched the whole process and kind of took part in it. It's just kind of different, you know. All right, there we go. I don't know if that really helped. You know, we added some warmth. I don't know if it really helped, but I feel like it did. And, you know, maybe I could even add, it's probably too much. Don't want to be wearing lipstick here, but can always take it back a little bit. There we go. This beard, if I can soften that, kind of take some of that up, that will be good. Look softer now? A little bit. Okay, well, you know, I feel like I should push it to be darker. I feel like we should do all the shadows again real quick. Because I went pretty dark with the eyes, and now the eyes really stand out, which is okay. But let's glaze the background real quick. Let's glaze this background, see if that like changes anything. It might help, but I feel like the side of the face might need to be, boom, just pushed a bit darker. And then we're probably done. Do you have a technique you use on your palette to prevent the watercolor from beating up like sandpaper? No, I don't really notice anything like beating up or anything. Hey, what's going on, Tomcat? Thanks for tuning in. Glad. Sorry you missed the first hour and 15 minutes, but it's all right. You know, we're getting to the final stage here. All right, let's glaze this background. Thanks for tuning in either way. So that's pretty dark for glaze. I'm gonna have to wipe off my brush real quick. Bear with me here, folks. I just want to get a very light kind of wash. I'm gonna darken the background near my face so that my face pops a bit more. That's the plan anyway. And also my hair up here. And now we can just kind of blend it out. There we go. That probably helped. It's hard to tell. I've been staring at this thing too long. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's real anymore. I feel like I'm stuck in the matrix, the painting matrix. Okay. And what I want to do real quickly, if I can. Okay. I just want to glaze this shirt because I don't really like. Looks a little too warm right there. too light. Because I really want my face to stand out. I don't want like the shirt to like be competing for that. I tried to keep this thing loose, but started off loose. I mean, it's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. Do we need to go darker here in the shadows? I don't really know if I need to. Possibly. If anything, maybe like a glaze on the face, because, yeah. Rather melancholy and introspective. Yeah, pretty much. I could watch this for hours. Well, it's only been 1 hour and 21 minutes, so you could watch it for an hour. I plan on doing more of these in the future, no doubt, so there will be more. I think I'm going to glaze the face just lightly, ever so lightly. Have you guys noticed I've only used this little square of my palette the entire painting for mixing colors? Every one of these is dry. This one's dry. This one's wet because I dripped when I was cleaning my brush. This one's dry. This is dry. I've only used this one thing for this whole painting. So, you know, you don't need a lot of mixing space. I mean, at least I don't, I guess. You know, it's not like the cleanest colors, but it's harmonious, I guess. So yeah, I kind of just mix everything together, start a new mixture. Sometimes you have to clean it, but let's do a little bit of a glaze here. I think if you went darker, it may unbalance it. How long have you been painting? Since like 2011, seriously. But I've only been painting with watercolor since 2018. I think I'm gonna go a little bit darker. I know what you're saying. I don't want to unbalance it, and I don't want to like mess up, you know, the relationship I have here with the midtones, but I think I just need to push a little bit of it darker. A little bit of it. Let's try it. Because I'll regret it if I don't try it, you know? It's one of those things, like, I'll try to just get like the core shadow in here. So it's a lot darker under the beard. You know, the neck is dark, but some of it's a little bit lighter. Appreciate you guys' input though, it's very helpful. Even though I do the opposite of what you guys say. And sometimes you guys are right, sometimes I mess it up and like, I shouldn't have done that. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta go for it. Otherwise, I'll sit back and regret my whole life that, man, what would have happened if I just would have went darker on that painting? Could have been my ultimate masterpiece. Instead, I quit too early and gave up. And I don't want to do that. Maybe that's a little extreme. Extreme thinking. This isn't going to be my masterpiece or anything, but you guys get what I'm saying. Picking up what I'm putting down. And it's going to look darker right now because it's wet, but once it dries in a few minutes, it'll lighten up and it'll sit in there very nicely, I think. Hopefully. I think that's what it needed. And maybe this shirt too will darken. Just a bit real quick here. This is why I love watercolor, you know, I just need this small little setup and I can just do paintings that I enjoy painting, you know, just try to stay bold with it. The reason I'm darkening the shirt, because when I look at the shirt's darker than the neck of my body. So I'm trying to stick with that. And I hate having to like go over stuff so many times, but sometimes it's necessary, you know, sometimes it's just needed. And the more I do portraits, the more loose I'll get with them, you know. It's hard to stay loose when you're very new with the subject, you know. It's a new subject. And I haven't done many portraits, so, you know, it just takes time. It's kind of a thing, takes time. Let's do like a little vignetting. Let's try that. Like darken down here. Darken all this. Keep the shirt darker overall. There we go. Yeah, I think that gives a better look. Let's dry this thing real quick. See what we got, and then we'll take the tape off. Once we take the tape off, that'll be the moment of truth. See if how long have I been drawing? Since I was a little kid. You know, when I was growing up, off and on I drew, and then when I got like 10 years ago out of college, I started really focusing on painting. And you guys realize when you're painting, you're still drawing. So I've been focusing on drawing and painting like for the last 10 years pretty well. Hey, SFS Eagle, what's happening? Yeah, I did change my profile picture finally. And I've used this lighting setup that I have for my YouTube videos now. This new lighting setup you guys will see this year, and this new LiveStream setup. So I got some nice light right here, this giant light box. But it really lights up everything pretty well, so I'm pretty happy. The only thing I can really do right now, let's see, we'll do it while I'm drying this. We're gonna go in a little purple. What I'm gonna do, looks like we just need a little more warmth on this ear. You know what I mean? Hopefully I can glaze that. Just here and there, not too, doesn't even need to be detailed. It just needs like something like that, I guess. Well, not the most colorful painting I've ever done, but if you could say anything to your younger self, what would it be? Save all your money. Don't buy any stupid things. Why did you buy that? Save all, I mean, I don't really have a money problem. I'm pretty good with saving money, but I would just want my younger self to be even better. How could I not be excited for your future live streams when you were so excited and proud about your new setup? Exactly. There you go, man. Exactly. Yeah, I think the drawings are going to look better too, especially. It's always difficult with these paintings to get the colors and everything right. Like with this camera, it's not the greatest camera. It's a little green. I'll show you guys. You know, this is the camera right here. It's a little green stand thing. So it's not like a really expensive camera or anything, but the pen and ink drawings, they'll probably look a lot better. You know, I think once I got this light now, the quality of the video, it's so much more crisp and clear. So I think, I'm gonna look at this. You know, I think that's the best I can do, man. I think that's really the best I can do right now. Let's just take off the tape. You know, one more last little piece. I can warm this up a little bit darker. Maybe add some random warmth here and there with this. I don't know. For some reason, this, gosh, it just lightens up so much. Don't really know what the deal is. I guess I'm just using too much water, but oh well. I thought I would be able to do this a lot better, this portrait. But, you know, it came out okay still, I think. It's just, I thought I was going to be able to do it a lot more loose with less strokes and less messing with it. But it's still pretty loose, I guess. Relatively. You know, it does kind of look like facial hair here, so we got, you know, it's not awful. All right, not bad. Okay, let's take the tape off. Show you guys. I look happy in my watercolor. Yeah, I kind of do actually. I look more happy here than I do in the photo. Well, that's good. You should try cheap watercolors like Crayola or Prang. I used to use Prang as a kid. Prang. Yeah, exactly. Save and invest. Yeah, that's probably what I would say to my younger self. Save money, invest and stuff. Here we go, folks. The crisp, clean edges. Hopefully it looks good. Yeah, exactly. Do I like fried bacon? No, I'm actually vegetarian, so nope. The only kind of meat I ever do eat every once in a while, a few times a year, I'll eat like some salmon or something. Very rare, like 3 or 4 times a year. But other than that, don't eat meat at all. There we go. Looks a lot better, right? With that crisp edges. I kind of need to flatten the paper a bit. So the way I do that is I'll flip it over once this is like completely dry. I'll flip it over, spray some water on it, and then I put something heavy on it to flatten it. Usually I put like a ruler on it or something, and then I just dry it with the fan real quick, and it kind of dries flat, more flat. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll show you guys on my webcam. What do you guys think? Gets blown out on my webcam. Yeah, looks better on the other screen here. So there we go. Finished portrait. Kind of looks like me, I guess. The only other thing I can really do is slightly darken this a bit to kind of... I know it looks stupid, but once it dries, it'll look better. Just trying to like kill that sharp line of the ear there. One more thing I can do is kind of like maybe make this a bit softer so that there's like hair there. Right? Okay, anyway. I don't know. There's something weird about it, but I think it's the eyes. They're kind of like too piercing. You know, there's something like weird about the eyes here. It's like they're too open or something. But it's... Thanks, Sergio. Appreciate it. Glittering eyes, yeah. Really? It's very moving? It doesn't look weird? It looks weird to me. Maybe I look weird. I think I look weird. I kind of... that took up some of the pigment that I didn't want. I need to paint pigment on there. There we go. Okay, better. That's better. Yeah, I guess the only weird thing is like my shoulder here. I should have curved it down, but I didn't realize how much of myself I was showing. But oh well. Perhaps next I can do an oil painting study. I don't have anything to do oil painting with anymore, so I don't have any oil painting supplies, unfortunately, or fortunately for me. Yeah, it'll look less weird when I come back. True, Tim. Very true. It's a representation of myself, not a photograph. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I look forward to doing more of these in the future. Maybe we'll do some more self-portraits, different viewpoints and everything. This one was a bit challenging just because of the 3/4 kind of view, you know. Maybe next time I'll do like straight on looking at the camera or something. Maybe you should soft the eyebrows. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I knew that was sharp, but Yeah, I mean, let's see what it would happen. Let's see what would happen. I made it this far into the painting. I might as well just try to put like, and how I'm gonna soften. I'm gonna put like an intermediate tone, or try to, over top of it and blend it out. It's hard to see. It was a little too dark, I guess. Let's try to blend that out. Maybe that helped. Yeah. Oh well, I don't know. Yeah, the eyebrows do look weird because I don't really have, you can't really see that I have eyebrows. It looks like I don't have eyebrows almost, right? I think this one was challenging because of the lighting. I've never really done like something that's so, kind of the portrait studies I've been working on, they're very, it's almost like overcast lighting. So they're much more subtle with the lighting. This one, it's very, you know, very high contrast. So I'm not really used to high contrast lighting like this. It's not really an excuse. I'm just saying, you know, it's a little more challenging. All right, maybe that's better. Oh yeah, this shape, that's a little. Make it a little more rounded. There we go. All right, I like that better actually. Yeah, I think I'll quit. Maybe you should darken around the eyes a bit more. No, I don't think darken. I think I darkened the eyes too much earlier, and then I had to darken the rest of everything. So I think we keep it like this. Because when I squint at it, you know, all the shadows are very similar. So even when I squint, it's like it shouldn't even be. The eyes shouldn't be that dark in there. You know. Because they shouldn't be so pronounced. You know, this is very shadowy. So like, maybe that's, there we go. Okay, let's stop, guys. Let's stop. Yeah, I think we're finished. I think we're finished. Well, if you're scared of colors, just use, you know, you can use black and white for a while. Nothing wrong with that. I did that for a while, for a long time. Just use black and white. And then once you feel comfortable, you start adding like paint with two colors, you know, paint with like a blue and then like a brown. So that when you mix them together, you get like more of a gray. But if you want, you can make something warm and you can make something more cool. So that's just something to think about that you could do if you're scared of colors. But I know what you mean. It is very challenging. Or can be challenging. Okay, now we're done. Now we're done. Now I'm happy. Now I'm happy. How do you know when you finish a drawing? When I feel tired of doing it. When I'm tired of working on it, and I'm like, all right, let's just finish this thing and be done. That's how I feel about it. Like, basically when I said what I wanted to say, like this, I kind of said what I wanted to say a long time ago. I should have already stopped. But here I'm still like fiddling with it and messing with it. And it's already been done. It's been done for a while, you know. So I need to just leave it alone. Maybe soften the strokes around the eyes with a little water. Yeah, I tried doing that, but oh well, it is what it is. One thing that bothers me, actually, there's the eye is like pointy right here. I don't want it to be pointy. So Essie says, so happy to finally see you do a live stream again. Thank you, I appreciate it. Glad to see you here and everybody else here. Good to see everybody. What is the learning process like for you at this point? It's all just experimentation at this point, trial and error, having fun. Because at this point, if I'm not having fun, then like, what's the point for me? Because there's no other reason I really need to do this. Art is just to have fun, you know? So for me, just try to have fun. I experiment. With these live streams, you guys kind of give me courage to just like really push it, you know? I'm like, you know what? I could ruin this. I've been working on it for an hour and a half. I could really ruin it right now, but let's just go for it. You know what I mean? So I try to just go for it. You know, the thumbnail of it down here, it looks a little weird, but whatever. When do you think will be the next live stream? Maybe next weekend, possibly. Are you hoping vaccines to come here? I hope vaccines get everywhere, and I hope this COVID thing ends because I want to travel. I'm tired of being stuck here. What do you like about watercolor as opposed to other mediums? I like that I can do something quickly. I like that it's portable. You know, I can bring this anywhere. I can literally paint anywhere outside, standing up or sitting down. Or I just like that it's so easy, so quick to clean up. I don't even have to clean up anything. I just leave it like this. It dries, no big deal. All I got to do is clean with water real quick. And yeah, that's what I love about it. I love that I can paint on paper. It's a lot cheaper than like canvas and stuff. So that's kind of all the things I like. You have a favorite book on watercolor to recommend? I think it's called The Urban Sketcher. The Urban Sketcher. Half of it is on pen and ink. The other half goes into watercolor. And that's really what got me like kind of started with watercolor. So what watercolor brand do you use? I use M. Graham. Graham. M. Graham. Doesn't really matter though. I used other ones in the past, but that's what I use now. My whole palette is M. Graham pretty much, except for the white that I use very rarely. So yeah, there we go. Not really a masterpiece, but you know, we're getting some practice in. We're getting some practice in here. So wonder if I can erase some of that pencil on my nose. Let's see. Wonder if I can erase some of this pencil. Why don't I have any oils? Because I got rid of everything. I do, so Ivan, I do a watercolor stream, and then the next stream I do is a pen and ink on toned paper. So here, I'll show you real quick before I do this. If you check out my channel, you can see like I always like alternate the streams. But I do, let's see. Hopefully I have a good one I can show you. Give me 1 second, be patient. I'm trying to find a good one. Okay, let's get my other sketchbook. So I do pen and ink like this on toned paper. Here, I'll show you guys. I should have just did this. See, I do drawings like these. Do drawings like these and watercolors like these. That's kind of what I do on this channel for live stream. So I'll do pen and ink like this, and the next stream I'll do watercolor. So, and I'll do landscapes. I do animals a lot. Normally I do a lot of animals. I just play around, experiment. Some of them are pretty good, some of them not so good, just depends. But I try to just have fun, play around, try new things. Let's see, my last ones here, kind of experimented with the abstract background and stuff. You know, I'm just trying to have fun. So that's what I do. I wonder if I can erase some of this pencil. I wonder, let's see. Probably won't erase because there's paint on top of it. Yeah. Bummer, bro. But not too bad, I guess. You know, when you look at it far away, you can't even really see it, so. All right, guys. Well, if there's no other questions, I think I'm going to end it here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this one. Like I said, be sure to check out my... oh, one more question. Maybe a silly question, but do you draw freehand or use construction lines? Just got into drawing myself. Well, I use construction lines, but I do it freehand, if that makes sense. So I just start out with a sketch. I mean, you can go watch all the live streams from the past to like my pen and ink ones. I'll start with pencil very loosely, and then I go in with pen and ink everything. So yeah, I start out with like construction lines and then just go in after that. But thanks everybody, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out my website. You know, I got paintings and drawings for sale on there, $65 US. So definitely check that out. I also have a support page. You can donate directly to me on my website now through my support page. So definitely check that out. I got a new link on there. I got music that I make for my YouTube channel on my Bandcamp page, and just check everything out. Greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I'll try to stream more. I'll try to stream at least once a week nowadays, but in the next few weeks, once my availability becomes a bit more, I've been really working on a drawing course called the Intuitive Drawing Course. You guys go check that out on my website. You can sign up there. It releases in 1 week, pretty much, in the next week. So I've been working on that. I still got more work to do on it, but once that finishes, then I can start streaming a bit more and do more YouTube videos. I plan to be much more active than last year. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourself.